If you've been injured for more than 3 to 6 months and you're not making any progress getting back to lifting, I need to tell you something you're not going to like. It's probably not your injury keeping you stuck anymore. It's you. And it's time to stop playing the victim. Now, before you click off this video, hear me out. One of the real reasons people don't get better is they genuinely don't know what to do to recover. If that's you, you should follow my page. That's all I post about every day. I'm here to help injured lifters get back to crushing PRs again. But there's another reason, and it's the one that nobody wants to talk about. So that's what this video is about. I see 3 different types of lifters stuck in the pain cycle on repeat. The first is the lifter stuck in rehab purgatory. They do the same 3 exercises 8 months in, they're still doing clamshells and banded walks, and they're wondering why nothing's changing. The second is the lifter who's scared to load the bar again. The injury technically healed, but every time they walk up to the rack, their brain talks them out of it. And the third is the lifter who's convinced someone else ruined them. Their physio, their doctor, their MRI report, they've got a villain to blame. And as long as there's a villain, they don't have to do anything but keep blaming them. If you hear yourself in any of those, I'm not trying to attack you. I'm trying to get you out of this trap. The reason I know this is not because I'm a physiotherapist or a strength and conditioning coach. It's because I was there too. I had a horrendous back injury in 2017, and I was told by 3 different professionals that I'd never lift weights again. Not take it easy, not modify, never. That was the word they all used. And for a really long time, I believed them. I stopped training, I rested, I was careful, I did everything a good patient was supposed to, and I got worse. Not just physically, mentally. Because when you hand your future to someone else's prognosis, you stop being the person who decides what happens next. You become a spectator to your own body. Eventually, I deadlifted 600 pounds, but the lift isn't the point. The point is the moment I decided the story they gave me wasn't the one I was going to live in. That's the decision I'm asking you to make right now. Here's the framework I want you to sit with. There are 2 circles. One is your circle of influence. Inside of it is everything that has the power to influence your well-being. Your MRI results, what your physio told you 6 months ago, whether you'll ever be 100% again, whether the injury will come back, what other people think of you if you do poorly in your next competition. And it goes beyond lifting. Things like your parents or partner stressing you out, or even reading a stressful news headline also fits in there. That circle is real. Those things matter, and they have the capability to influence your well-being, but you can't do anything about these thoughts and feelings. Within the circle of influence, we have a much smaller circle called the circle of control. And inside this circle is everything that you actually have the power to take actionable steps on. Whether you get enough protein in, what time you turn the lights off tonight, whether you show up consistently to do your rehab and training work, the language you tell yourself when pain shows up, whether you decide to modify the load on the bar if your pain response is higher that day, or ignore it and inappropriately expose yourself to red light level pain. The problem is this: most injured lifters are spending 90% of their mental energy on the circle they can't control and maybe 10% on the one they can. They're rereading their MRI report in their head every morning. They're replaying what the doctor said over and over. They're catastrophizing the next flare-up before it even happens. And then they show up to the gym with nothing left in the tank. You have to flip it. You have to spend as much mental and physical energy as possible on what you can actually control right now, in this moment. And maybe 5 to 10% on the stuff that you can't change. And watch what happens over 3 months. This isn't like some hippie, woo-woo, positive thinking bullshit. This is a reallocation of where you spend your energy. Because right now, you're probably spending it in the wrong circle. Go through the exercise. Take a piece of paper, draw out 2 circles, one inside of the other, and I want you to list out every possible thing that could positively or negatively affect your well-being as it pertains to your lifting. Make a mental note of the things that exist in the smaller circle of control versus the larger circle of influence, and then your homework is to disregard everything in that larger circle. It doesn't matter anywhere as much as you think it might. Once you've made that shift, here are the 4 principles I give to every injured lifter that I work with. The first is do what you can when you can. Not what you used to do, not what you'll be doing in 6 months, what's available to you today. If you can't back squat, can you front squat? If you can't front squat, can you goblet squat? If you can't goblet squat, can you do a band-assisted box squat? There's always a version. Find it, do it, and progress once you're able to. Number 2 is don't pick the scab. Every injured lifter I know has a test that they do. It's the movement that hurts or the position that they go into, the one they keep poking at 50 times a day just to check if it's feeling better yet. Stop. You're not healing a wound by pressing on it every day. Leave the irritating thing alone for long enough to let adaptation happen. It's reasonable to take stock of where things are first thing in the morning or once a day, but you have to aim to put that information in your back pocket as you go about your day and not pull it out 50, 100, 200 times a day just to see if it's better. Recovery takes time and we can't rush it. The third is that you have to measure progress in more ways than just your 1 rep max or by how much pain you're experiencing. If the only thing you're tracking are these two things, you're going to feel like you're going nowhere. There are 16 different ways to measure progress in the gym, and we need to explore all of them. Can we progress the sets, the reps, the weight on the bar, or how frequently we participate in the lift? Can we lengthen the tempo of the movement? Can we add a pause, improve the technique, or can we progress the RPE, like how hard the lift is? Can we lengthen the range of motion? Can we increase the torque on the working joint? So for example, you're recovering from a low back injury, we progress from a sumo deadlift to a conventional deadlift. Can we remove supports, like lessening band support on a pull-up, or add instability, a single leg RDL instead of a double leg version? Can we increase the speed of the movement, the length of the session itself, how confident you feel approaching the bar, and lastly, how painful the movement is? If you're only looking at one of those and you're ignoring the other 15, of course you feel stuck. But you're not stuck, you're just measuring the wrong thing. I've got a full video on those 16 markers, and I'll link it in the description below. The fourth principle to recovery is that you have to listen to your body, and we have to be careful with this one. Listen to your body has been weaponized by the rest first crowd, which includes physios and doctors, to mean stop training the second anything feels off, and that's not at all what I mean. Listening to your body means being respectful of where you're at while avoiding swinging the pendulum too far in either direction of the scale that runs from too much too soon to too little for too long. You shouldn't push through sharp, escalating, warning sign level pain, but you also shouldn't use every mild twinge as a reason to shut things down for an entire week or longer. Your job is to stay in the middle, and it's a skill to stay in the middle, but that's what you're developing and working on every single training session. Being injured isn't the problem, staying a victim of it is. The injury happened to you. Everything after that is happening because of you. It's the circle you're choosing to live in, influence, or control. It's the principles you're choosing to follow. It's the story that you're choosing to believe about what your body can still do. You get to decide which version of this you are every moment of every day, not by the end of your rehab. Now, in this present moment. Now, if you've been stuck for months and you're ready to stop being a victim of your injury and you're looking for help, you can click the link in the description to hop on a call with me anytime. There's no pressure, just a real conversation about where you're at and what your next move should be. If this video hit home for you, subscribe to my channel. I post about this stuff every week. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you taking the time.